consider this interesting little patch that extends the range of the ribbon controller, the RP-20. What happens is we use the little switch gate contained on the controller to activate an extra octave, so that when you want to play a melody that goes beyond the 2-octave range, you simply press down the button and you get sliding up of the ribbon controller to the next higher octave. How does it work? Well, we're going to go through this patch bit by bit here so you can see. First of all, let us start at the ribbon controller interface here. As you can see, we have 3 cables going into it. One is the pitch, which we have set to 2 volts there, as you can see, and that's this wire coming out here, so, and that of course goes to the 1 volt per octave input of your oscillator, so that's that. Then you have this second output here. This is the pressure, and that's set to 5 volts, as you can see right ahead, and that comes out here, and that goes to your control input of your VCA. And then down below here, as you can see where I'm touching now, you have the switch gate wire coming out, and that goes to the control input of your switch, your Q128 switch. So that switches the switch. In other words, when you press the little black button on the RP-20, you're activating the switch here, and we're using switch number 2. You could just use switch number 1, and what it does is it puts a voltage equivalent to 1 volt using our standards module. Here's the output of our standards module, and we have it set to 1 volt, and that comes down, that goes through the switch, and comes up to our second 1 volt per octave input on the oscillator. So in other words, when we press the switch on the RP-20, we in fact scale the pitch up by 1 octave, the way it's currently set. You could make it 2 if you want, by adding another volt onto the voltage that's being fed to the pitch of the oscillator, the control voltage to the oscillator. So in other words, whatever you're playing gets another volt added to it, which pushes it up 1 octave, which is really quite easy to do and quite sensible idea. And the last patch cable on this little thing is of course the sawtooth output of the oscillator going to the signal input of the VCA, and of course your VCA goes to your sound system. So that's a very, very basic little patch there that allows us to play the ribbon controller, melodies on the ribbon controller, because it's quite difficult to keep all your melodies within 2 octaves. You need at least 3 octaves to play most melodies properly.